Hi, welcome back to my channel. So there's this trend going on where women show up before and after when they have been in really bad relationships, very toxic relationships. But first,
Hi, I'm Alicia, i.e. Alicia J, the walking, talking baby doll, and hopefully I'm here to give you a good day or a better day, okay? Okay. So,
and a lot of people are noticing how drastic the change is, how different, how they've transformed their lives, and they look healthier and they're glowing and all these things now. But back then, when they were in these relationships with really toxic individuals, you could literally see the life just drained out of the person, and it's causing a lot of different reactions within the comments and stitches and stuff. So we're going to get into that today, and I'm telling you, like, is on some of these photos, all I could say was, oh honey. Like, that's the only thing that I could think of watching some of these videos and react to some of these videos. So we're going to go through them today, and we're also going to talk about a very important subject to me, something that I can actually say happened to me. A lot of the stuff on this channel I can say happened to me, and I'm doing it for, women, nieces that I'd have yet to have, or they're too young right now, and I'm trying to save this in like a time capsule so they have something to safeguard themselves, right? Protect themselves, but and enhance their life, of course, because on this channel we don't just talk about men, we also talk about like how to improve our lives as women, on an individual level, and if you want to pass that to other fellow women and things. So yeah, women-centered channel. Let's get into it. But I like this subject because it's something that I actually went through, and I'm debating on showing my photo. It's a particular photo that when I had got like at the worst, like, well, I won't even say the worst, but it was an incident that happened, and it just all kind of like collapsed on me that day, and you could see it in my face. You could see such a difference in what I look like today versus then, and I'm debating on showing it. I might show it, I might not, but you'll get the gist by watching some of these women. And so yeah, so basically the concept of energy harvesting, and this concept is very spiritual, and if you want to look more into it, you can go on YouTube and find out how it happens. Okay, so you have the subject of like energy vampires, which are people who are skilled at doing this and aware that they can do this. Energy harvesting, the person can be aware or unaware that they are doing that to you. Is very sinister. This is where you get people who can try to destiny swap. This is where you get people who will evil eye. This is where you get people who, they always have something negative to say or tear you down. Or if you go random places and you just have that one person in the corner that's saying really degrading stuff to like lower your aura. I think that's how the younger crowd is saying it nowadays, like your aura points or whatever, whatever, something like that. But if a person can do this to you through like deliberately pissing you off, sleep depriving you, a lot of abusive and narcissistic type of tactics. So if you're aware of all of those ways, that's a way that narcissists get supply off of the other person, and that's also a form of energy harvesting. So you will know that you're being energy harvested if you feel like the things that you used to be and used to be able to do is starting to shift. For example, for me, when it came to like finances and stuff, my finances used to be like, I wouldn't say super secure to like where I had like a stable job and everything, but money would just flow. It would just flow. And then the point where I started to realize I was being drained by a certain individual, I started to realize that that person would get opportunities that they should have not, like, no way in this world they should have been getting those opportunities based off of their personality alone. Like, I could just tell, like, they had a very, like, dark period of not doing good with money, not getting, when they would try to get certain into their career field, it would always be something that they did that ended up biting them in the ass and they couldn't get through the door, okay? And that's how I knew, being around this individual, they were always sporadic like that, even with dealing with me, right? So the unpredictability and the sporadicness and anger and rage and all this type of stuff that was kind of like in their personality, I was like, it's no way that this person can just, I don't know, meet someone at a store and then network it and then nothing has happened in between and they just get the job. Like, I just knew it just felt too unrealistic. It's hard for me to describe because it's like, it's not that I did want the person to get work or anything like that. I really did, and I actually did things to help them, but it just wasn't, in the beginning, it wasn't working. Okay, this is editing me kind of going more into detail. Every time I would try to help this person get a job or get into their career field, they were getting access to certain privileges through me, and it would still, like, it would benefit them, but they wouldn't completely get the interview or whatever by themselves or something like that, you know? It always had to be me kind of helping them look a certain way, be a certain way. And also, like, when it came to like clothes and stuff like that, what to wear, I did all of that. I helped that person with all of that. And it bit me in the ass when they would call me really degrading things. Call me, just talk to me like trash at times for trying to help them out or problem solve with them. And it's nothing that I did to them that was like very mean or bashing or negating. It was just tips and stuff, and they didn't like me being smarter than them, I guess, in some areas, and that wasn't my intention. However, just to clear it up here, editing me, think about when you're pouring all of your good qualities into this person, and let's say that they have more so negative qualities in their characteristics, that's going to pour into you, especially if you are intimate with this person. Okay, so just think about that. And also, I also wanted to put here that I am certain that this was the dynamic that was happening because years later, it took some time, but years later, after not dealing with that person anymore, my ability to have money flow to me is way, it shot up like, I would say like last year or so, maybe, and I haven't talked to that person in a very long time now, but my money ability like bounced back like boom, and I could tell that it's a major difference. Now, when I started to notice that my shit started to dry up, that's when I noticed that that person started to like get more than one job offer, or they didn't necessarily have to look for work, they had work or whatever. And it was just kind of, it was taking me back. I started to notice stuff like, and of course, we have to acknowledge that as women we are allowing people to do this to us. Yes, that is the obvious, but I've seen some people stitch stuff like that, like, whoa, my, that could never be me, that could never be me. And I hate when people kind of come with that energy, like, that could never be me, bitch. But it's like, you would be the main one, okay? Because majority of us have said it could never be us. You would be the main one to get duped. Anywho, you will know that you're also being energy harvested. So this doesn't just go for romantic relationships, by the way. But you'll know that you're also being energy harvested when you just become a shell of a person than what you used to be. And if I could find a clip from a spiritual teacher that I like, I will put the clip in it, and that was the moment that I had in this video, that was the moment that I had realized what exactly was happening.
So if you have Ray and good fortune, and if Mr. Bad Luck comes over and he tries to drain your energy because he's an energy vampire, then guess what? You're going to be trading your energy for his energy, and you're going to wonder why your life is going stagnant and his is going up. So it's like, but the good news is, a lot of times when women leave those type of situations, or when men even leave those type of draining situations, they start to get their color back, they start to look better, they start to get their youth back, and they start to get their ideas back, and things start to flow again because they've gotten away from the energy vampire, the sexual energy vampire, up to a person with this capacity, a little bottle cap, right? So you try to fit your big old self, your big old soul, your big old higher energy with a person that's this small. How can the spirits fortify you if you're in a small capacity like this when you're supposed to be operating at this capacity in overflow? Because check it out, if you marry a man and he's doing what he's supposed to do, he's not abusing you, he's providing for you, he's protecting you, guess what's going to happen? He can already be wealthy and everything else, but Yamayano Shun, they're going to start to overflow. They're going to start to overflow. The cup is going to run over in his life. Because check it out, when your man is your covering and your umbrella, it's going to trickle back down to you. Because realize, flow, but if things are dry and empty, that's telling you, they're like, we don't want you with him. Or we don't want you with her. Things are not flowing in this situation. That will let you know if it's a good situation for you or a bad situation for you. This is Ray. When your cup overflows, you can receive. But if the cup is turned upside down, nothing can be deposited to you. It's like having a closed fist, not being able to receive anything. So soulmate or twin flame. Sometimes the worst people to be hooked up to is a soulmate or twin flame. Get with those that are as big as you or willing to be as big as you. And when I say big, I don't just mean just financially big. I mean big in the spirit. On your same wavelength, on your same capacity, trying to go the same places you want to go, kindreds. So are you going to regress, or are you going to flow and overflow? It's all up to you.
And I had to come up with a decision soon, because if you allow this to keep going and you know, soon as you know better, you must do better. If you don't, and you're a very spiritual person, you believe in God, you believe in spiritual advisory, so like you have a team of angels, you're equipped with a team of guardians and stuff like that. If you believe all of that, then if they give you the insight and you fully acknowledge the truth of that insight, and you do nothing to expel or get away from the individual or the trouble that is happening to you, they will just, put their hands behind their back when it comes to dealing with situations, because you kind of hard-headed in a way, right? You don't want to acknowledge, you already acknowledged it, but you're making the decision, so that's your free will. But when it comes to energy harvesting, the moment you're aware that it's happening and you're the shell of a person that you used to be, you have less life in your eyes. Sometimes I think that's Saturn return, so that's not always just energy harvesting. If you're going through your Saturn return, I think that's when a lot of people start to get like lifeless behind the eyes, because it's hard. Yeah, your hair may fall out more. Your weight will either fluctuate or it will stay in the undesired. Like let's say like you didn't want to gain weight and you gain weight and then you hold on to that weight. That may be a sign. Your skin, oh my goodness, that was a big one for me. Skin congested, so congested, pores. And I had never had that issue as an adult, really. Well, really as a teen. With teen acne, I didn't even have congested pores and comedones and stuff like that. But when I was getting energy harvested and stuff, my skin, their skin looked fine. My skin looked horrendous. I think I'm going to be making a video of that on my other channel, so plug in my other channel if you want to go over there and watch my beauty expertise shine and knowledge of sort. Then go to that channel because it's more beauty centered. But oh man, it was so many things. The anxiety, depression. I think around that time is when my nutritious levels were also depleting from my body, because I remember having a talk with my doctor about feeling depressed, like really, really low. And she's kind of like a natural, she's still like a doctor, but she also like trying the natural stuff first, and so she would kind of talk to you about it and things. But she gave me anxiety medication and that was it. But I didn't like being on the anxiety medication because it made me too sleepy. And I didn't go through with it. But I think around that time, my vitamin D levels must have been like really at an all-time, like it started to deplete, and I started to become less and less of myself too during that time. I mean, just completely steal your whole shine, man. And you'll know when you don't feel like yourself. You'll know. And the best thing that you can do, so you may be saying like, well, what do you do about it? The best thing for you to do about it is when you figure it out, like I said, especially if you're spiritual, if you figure it out, any type of energy that person gives to you, provides to you, or whatever like that, just duck and dodge any advances, any type of communication, any type of anything where you're allowing the energy to get to you. So even something like a text message, no, I say completely cut off all contact, because whether that person, you don't know whether that person is good at siphoning energy or not. And I swear I just made a video on this too on my other page. Men will fiend and feed off of your energy. And I was taking a sociology course, and I also found out that men are like statistically happier, okay, in marriages. All right, that statistic is true, and they shine. They have their daddy glow up here and there, and think about how much work and labor it takes, that's expected of us as women in a relationship dynamic. One of the best things that you could do for yourself and spot a red flag or a yellow flag in the early parts of a relationship or any part of the relationship is keep up with who you were before them. Like, I don't care if it's like a event, that a concert, a show, whatever, that you guys are never going to get to see live in town except for this date and this time. And it's either you do that or you stick to your self-care routine where maybe you go and you work out at that particular time period. I'd rather you stick to doing you. And that person may be like, we got to get there. We got to go, you got to trying to get you to come out of your routine or your what you love to do for yourself. Always say no, because you'll get into the habit of recognizing if that person is always trying to pull you away from your friends, pull you away from time with your mom, pull you away from time with some of these people. Some of these men are extremely needy, okay? And it's disgusting. I hate clinginess. I hate that. But some of us depend on how we was raised and what we got to see, or the affection and the love that we got from men in our family, right? Proper, healthy love and affection. If we didn't receive that as women and girls, you're going to grow up and you're going to get these individuals that are slightly like, you may not require a lot of, well, we're going to say on the outside, you may not require a lot of love and affection and attention, but deep down to your core, you're going to be slightly starved in that way versus other women, right? And when a man comes into your life and he does the basics, but he seems like he's staying consistent with those basics, you can easily, in your mind, you're going to be like, oh my God, this person, they love and they care for me. Or even worse, the J-Lo effect. And by the J-Lo effect, I mean he's obsessed with you. Like he's so obsessed with you, type of clinginess. And in your mind, even though you're not attracted to clinginess, you might actually like that. Wow, this person is like so into me. And usually that falls apart too. So don't even don't base if somebody loves you or cares about you off of that either. But you will think that someone cares more about you based on, oh, and if they show it through actions, like they show it through a lot of actions, like anytime you need gas, they, oh, you come to the gas station, I'll put gas in the car, or something happens to your car, oh, I'll take you to the store, or oh, I'll do this, or I'll do that, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that. You could tell when men are playing the role of a provider to make you feel like safe and that he is into you more. But look into love bombing if you don't quite understand that. All to say, be careful out here. Know what you're getting into. If you don't want this to be you don't want this to be your story, this could be your story. But if you don't want this to be you don't want this to be your story, don't mindlessly date people because you're bored, because you're lonely. And if you're thinking about dating, make sure that you're going to therapy, you're understanding yourself and your flaws, right? And those blind areas, the blindsided areas that you don't even know about yourself, because a man look at you from a distance and probably get a vibe from you and say, oh, okay, easy target. And you don't even know that within yourself, right? Anyways, I hope you like this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. I can't think too much more about energy harvesting. But if you want me to do another video about it, I'll do another video about it. And never put more into the relationship than yourself. If you were how you came in the relationship, you want to withhold that, and hopefully how you came into the relationship was selfish as fuck, and you should withhold that. All right, majority of your decisions within that relationship should always be self-serving. That's how men are thinking about their lives with you and their risk in getting married and all these things. That's how they're thinking about it. So you should think about that too. And have your hobbies, have your goals. That should be the next video, by the way. Hobbies. But you should have your own hobbies. You should have your own life going for you. You should have all these things going for you, so that there is not a person in this world that can come into your life and just say, oh, you got nothing going on? Okay, so fill it up with just me. I'm your world. And that will literally make you a shell of a man, shell of a woman. I don't know if a man will watch this, but it will make you a shell of a woman. And if you've ever heard that phrase, that literally that's proof of energy harvesting in real time. Okay? So comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. What do you like about this video? Do you want to see more of me talking to the camera directly? Or do you just like the audio type of podcast style where you could hear it, play it anywhere? And I'll catch you on the next one.